Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I greet you all according to your time and locations. You will be watching this video. Yes, my dear viewers, I am back again with another update. So guys, I have a video here I would like we all to watch. But before then, if you're missing my channel for the very first time, you're highly welcome. Please kindly do well to like, share and subscribe. Leave your thought on the comment section. Let us know what you think about this video, and I will see you towards the end.
Well, starting from July, Nigerians may need to cough out more from their income to pay higher electricity tariffs if the proposed 40% electricity tariff hike is approved by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, that's NERC, and implemented by power distribution companies. The organized labor and civil society groups are now set to be on a coalition if the hike is approved, even as the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is calling, also kicking actually, against the proposed tariff hike. Arise correspondent Omo Bazuaye tells us more.
In the wake of recent fuel subsidy removal, Nigerians face the prospect of even a tougher time with a planned upward review of electricity tariffs in the country. Barring any last-minute decision, the proposed tariff regime is set to take effect from July 1, according to insiders in the electricity value chain. Arise investigation reveals that the upward review is as contained in the multi-year tariff order. The review is also based on the regulator's current service-based tariff, benchmarked on an exchange rate of 441 naira to the US dollar and inflation of 16.97% against the current harsh realities of Nigeria's currency devaluation, which stands at about 750 naira to $1 US, with inflation rate at 22.22%. The 40% hike in electricity tariff may have pitched the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) and civil societies against the new government of President Bola Tinubu.
If they increase it now, even with the increase in the pump price of petroleum products, and then you increase tariff again, there will be another inflation, which they will turn back to claim that there's inflation. Meanwhile, their increase, had equally led to increase in tariff.
A text message by Eco Electricity Distribution Company to customers confirms the plan to jack up tariff, blaming it on a floating exchange rate. We may be looking at a base tariff of 100 naira per kilowatt for Band C, between 12 to 16 supply hours per day, Band A 20 hours and above, and Band B 16 to 20 hours will be much higher. The message then advised customers on prepaid platform to buy bulk energy units for their homes and offices before the end of the month to help them save some money. Those on postpaid estimated billing are not spared. They should expect a significant increment starting from August.
There is a flip side to the argument. The investor is not a Father Christmas. It's not in charity business. It's in business to provide service and to also make money and to let the business remain as a going concern.
The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria (MAN) has described the new regime as simply outrageous, noting that the federal government had increased electricity tariffs by 186% in the last 8 years, without any appreciable improvement in the generation and distribution of electricity in the country. The manufacturers fear that the tariff will lead to rise in cost of production, reduction in manufacturers' profit margin, high probability of activities paralysis, and potential reduction in even government collectible revenues. They argued further that the implementation of the proposed tariff will complicate the inflationary pressure on the economy, accelerate the recession in the manufacturing sector, hurt the competitiveness of Nigerian manufacturers, and heighten the probability of manufacturing firms relocating their plants from Nigeria.
In the administration of President Jonathan, the Nigerians paid 1,000 for 64 units, And in the administration of President Buhari, they paid the same 1,000 for 16 units. And now, for this hour, we don't know what's going to happen the next hour, they are compelled to pay 1,000 for 10 units.
The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission declined to take any further inquiries from Arise News on the matter, apart from explaining that the planned upward review is yet to be concluded and that it would not be proper for it to speak at this time. Officials of Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, who were not willing to speak on cameras, simply said there will not be any electricity tariff increase by 1st of July, saying the message sent out to customers in their name was the handwork of mischief makers. In the time being, Nigerians wait with bated breath. Omo Bazwaye, Arise News.
Yes, indeed. Nigerians are truly waiting with bated breath. Well, joining us tonight to take a look at the issues surrounding increase or planned increase in electricity tariff is the National President Association for Public Policy Analyst, Prince Will Okori. He's also the publisher, Power Consumer Watch magazine. It would be nice to know what the Consumers Protection Agency actually should be doing, as far as this issue is concerned. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight.
Welcome to Newsnight.
Thank you very much.
Let's even start with this whole idea of subsidy. I mean, subsidy, didn't work necessarily with our energy, sector, with petroleum and all of that. Will subsidy work as far as electricity is concerned? Because Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, they're saying, look, it will make sense for electricity to be subsidized for the manufacturers, because if it doesn't happen, they'll be worse hit, more hit than they already, are. Speak to that.
Let me start this way. Remember during Fashola's headship of the Ministry of Power, he approved eligible customers. He came up with the concept of eligible customers. And that was to encourage people like manufacturers that could get like 2 kilowatt hours or 2 megawatts of electricity to directly connect. But that was kicked against because the discos will always tell you they have their franchise areas. Things shouldn't be done this way, things shouldn't be done the other way. Again, if you talk about subsidy, where is this subsidy? Remember in the what they said now, they've abrogated the former Electric Power Sector Reform Act 2005. There was provision for Consumer Assistance Fund, Power Consumer Assistance Fund. That fund, was it administered? That has been there from 2005 when the Electric Power Sector Reform Act came into being. There was a provision for Power Consumer Assistance Fund meant to assist consumers that were unable to pay for electricity. So if there was any subsidy, maybe it would have come from that angle. But who administered that? You see, let me tell you, the issue about the power sector is that it is filled with fraud and corruption, beginning from the regulator. We can prove it. What do I mean by that? The Electric Power Sector Reform Act 2005, in Section 80, provided for consumer protection and licensee performance standards. Under that standard, none of the sections was implemented or enforced by the regulator. For instance, that was the part of the regulation that talked about disconnection and reconnection methodology.
Okay.
There were rules before you could be disconnected. It was not enforced. Consumers were being disconnected at will. There was what they called Customer Service Standard of Performance for Distribution Companies 2007 that had to do with dealing with faults. If there is fault and you complain, within 24 hours, it's expected that the DISCO staff should come and check and they correct. But I tell you that there are communities that their transformers got bad for almost 2 years. Nothing was done. They complained. Nobody will go to them. We just handled the matter of a man we took to Abuja NEC Forum. He complained in 2020 after buying meter.
3 years ago.
After buying meter. He went and they said he should recharge. He bought again. He went, they said they should recharge. He bought again. The light didn't enter. He went and complained. Nobody bothered. After some time, they went and disconnected him. Meanwhile, that same man, they installed a transformer on his land 12 years ago without paying him a dime. That when you talk about acquisition of land and access for installation of electricity infrastructure, is in section 77 of the previous act. It was not implemented. It was this period that we had to go to NEC forum that issue is being talked about. What do I mean by this?
Yes.
There is so much neglect on the part of the consumers. They are telling you now about a dollar increase. Could the present administration initiate an investigation into what has happened in the power sector? For instance, the billing and metering policy in the sector. As we are talking now, there was a time World Bank said they provided about $500 million for, they used to say, national mass metering program. How many meters were provided? Who were the beneficiaries of these meters? There are states that have not seen prepaid meter with their eyes in this country. There are local governments that have not seen it. Yet, you are saying you are serving consumers. What is the consumer enumeration in this country? Now, how many metered consumers do you have? How many unmetered consumers do you have? They need to identify. The worst thing happening is that you will never see a representative of the regulator come to the media to talk. So what are they hiding? Why won't you enlighten the people you are serving? You are regulating this sector, and the sector is fraught with all manner of corrupt practices, and you cannot come out and explain. Now you are asking them, okay, people said you want to increase tariff. Is it not the regulator that should come, face the consumers, face labor, and explain their bits?
When you say corruption with the regulator, exactly how? I mean,
what I mean is the regulator has a responsibility. If you look at section 32 of the previous act, section 32(1)(f says regulation should be fair and just to the consumer, the investor, and other stakeholders. But a situation where if you bypass meter now, the distribution company punishes you immediately. But the distribution company will overbill you. The regulator will tell you to write a complaint to the same distribution company that overbilled you and wait for 15 working days. After that, you escalate it to NEC forum.
But that's even, that clause
now,
is even
that is a partial attitude. And why are they doing that? Why, okay, for instance, the distribution, the discos are supposed to carry out consumer enlightenment. How many do they carry out? Go to anywhere they say they are doing enlightenment. Many a times it is the staff of the disco that will fill that place.
So
now,
many questions
the regulator,
for answers.
why will the regulator not punish the disco for not carrying out this enlightenment?
Principal, even that clause is a little ambiguous, because when you say that they should be fair and just, that's relative. What is fair? What is just? All this should have been spelled out in the article. You know. Anyway, let's move from dancing around the problem, and let's begin to look at possible solutions. I'm particularly concerned that the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is bothered because they do not want manufacturing businesses to leave the country. That's on the one side. What about our foreign direct investment? Because energy should be made available and at a reasonable cost too, to keep attracting foreign direct investments. So what's the impact of this on our FDI?
Where we make a mistake is we will talk about investment. We won't talk about the governance of the sector. The countries we want to borrow, if you commit corruption in the sector, you'll be dealt with. The countries we want to copy, they have enumeration. Their laws are enforced. The companies, the foreigners, just like World Bank now, will tell you that, imagine a government that is not up to 1 month. The World Bank is saying they want to give $750 million for electricity. Which minister applied for that loan? Why is the World Bank in a hurry to give loan when Nigerians have to suffer? Now, the same World Bank will tell you they are in Nigeria, they want to check corruption. They believe in good governance, transparency, and accountability. How many metered consumers are paying? How many non-metered consumers are being exploited?
Principal, we need to go on a break right now. When we come back, if you will still be the one to provide answers to those questions, do stay with us because Newsnight is not done.
So guys, thank you so much for watching. What do you think about this video? Please kindly drop your opinion down below. I'll see you in my next one. Bye for now.